Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at just how good the Extreme Vengeful Energy Hatchiyack giant form is at 55% in the Hidden Potential system. Now Hatchiyack is the latest Battlefield LR and he's pretty interesting. I'm not going to say he's like the really top tier unit. I don't think that is the case at all, but I think he's a very solid unit. I think, especially when you get more dupes of him over time as they become more available from the Battlefield shop, I do think we're going to get a better look as to how good he is. But at 55%, he's more so showing signs of how solid he can be. And yeah, there's two very big things about him. So obviously he's a giant forms lead, so the first free-to-play giant form lead of 130%, which is very good. Raises defense 1 turn on his 12 key, and raises extreme class allies attack, and raises attack and defense on his 18 key, all for 1 turn, and raises extreme class allies attack by 30%. He has key plus 3 attack and defense at 80%, and an additional attack and defense of 100% within the same turn after receiving an attack. Now this is really crucial because it means that him getting hit is a multiplier. He has damage received by 20%, plus an additional he reduces damage received by 20%, plus an additional damage reduction of 20%, and gives extreme class allies key plus 3 when there's a pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans enemy. He turns into his giant form, which can be automatically activated if you're facing pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans, and when HP is 80% or less from the 5th turn of battle. So it's pretty good. His giant form is probably the most exciting part about him. So his giant form, has key plus 3, but is just generally a good giant form. It's very easy accessible, which is great. It's designed to be that way, and so the giant form is kind of the highlight of him as a unit. In terms of links, his links are a bit all over the place, as you can imagine for Hatchiyack, but he has Big Bad Bosses, Tough as Nails, Hatred of Saiyans, Fear and Faith, Transform, Legendary Power, and Berserker. Obviously the crucial one being Big Bad Bosses. A lot of people are going to want to have that active. Fear and Faith is probably his most common key link, and obviously Transform from a giant form side of things. So we're getting a good look at him here, around 100k defense with 30% support, not the craziest. He does then get hit and that defense goes up quite a bit. That defense will jump from 100k to around 200 and something. The attack stats, not maybe the most wonderful, 2.2 million. Now he does gain a lot from link leveling. It doesn't work out to like a true 25%, but just having Big Bad Bosses active will elevate his defense, to around that 120, 125-ish mark. His attack stats will go to, 2.4 million, 2.5 million instead of, 2.2. And he does gain like a lot in general from link leveling. Big Bad Bosses is solid, Fear and Faith is solid, Transform gives him 10% defense, which is pretty clutch. And you can activate these relatively consistently. Tough as Nails is also there, it's a little bit harder to activate. His best linking partner is obviously the non-giant form Hatchiyack. But then, outside of that, you're looking at units like Baby, AGL LR Baby, Metal Coolers, etc. So, he's not got a lot of links. He'll share like 3 with them. Your priority should be Fear and Faith and Big Bad Bosses. Anything else above that is a bonus. So if you can get the key, if you can, get Big Bad Bosses active, you're basically done. Getting Big Bad Bosses and Berserker active is pretty tough to do. Not a lot of units have it, so it's not really something I would prioritize. You can see here though, giant form. Animations are pretty nice, by the way. I think, considering the source material, I think he's got very nice animations, which is good. I think it's good that free-to-play units continue to have high-quality animations, and I think, Hatchiyack is pretty solid from that perspective. Overall, one thing I will say, the giant form is pretty good, and you can see it's rocking higher attack stats than the base form. which is pretty solid. It's very rare to see a giant form outperform a base form, in terms of damage. But I think overall Hatchiyack looks good. He's more a free-to-play or a filler option for a giant form team, it feels, than anything else. Artificial life forms is probably his best team. A giant form feels like the team you're probably going to run him on the most, just considering your performance and obviously your optimal kind of team running, and just basically like everything you'd like to consider when you are building a team. So I would say overall he's good. I definitely feel like he's an interesting build, but I do think at the end of the day he's a relatively solid unit that has a decent amount of flexibility. He's obviously a unit that's realistically designed to focus or play against hybrid Saiyans or pure Saiyans. There's not a lot of super hard events that have that. I think the Broly Red Zone is probably the closest you get. And without dupes, it's not like he's going to be able to tank too well. 20% damage reduction isn't crazy. With the additional 20%, things start to look a lot better. So that is something to consider. Now, obviously, Big Bad Bosses is a primary link, as I mentioned. Fear and Faith, Transform, those are probably the three I'd focus on. Anything else is a bonus. Tough as Nails is great, but it is hard to get. Hatred of the Saiyans is great, but it is hard to get. Berserker is okay, but it is hard to get. And then you have Legendary Power, which is fairly common. In terms of link leveling, he gains a lot. Berserker gives you a lot, Big Bad Bosses gives you a lot, Tough as Nails gives you a lot, Hatred of the Saiyans gives you a lot, Fear and Faith gives you a lot. As always with extreme units, they get a lot out of link leveling. He is no different. Big Bad Bosses will give you a huge starter turn buff, Transform will give you 10% defense, Fear and Faith, okay, probably doesn't give you too much, but Tough as Nails gives you a big buff, and so does Berserker, but like I said, getting them is a bit difficult. So if you just focus on Big Bad Bosses, Transform and Fear and Faith, is it worth link leveling him? Yeah, it is. Because he gains a lot. Should you link level him? I don't know. He is fairly limited in terms of categories. Unfortunately, Giant Form, Artificial Life Forms, Revenge, and Crossover. And that's just the only real unfortunate side of him. He is just very limited. So, although with dupes he could be in the future a very fun unit, I think he's so limited in terms of category. I don't know how much it's worth investing in him, with that being said. However, I think at the end of the day, he is pretty fun. He's a good free-to-play option for Giant Form. And that's pretty much it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.